I'm Max Lopez. This is the Blue Wave. Today we're going to be looking at my predictions of the electoral map in this upcoming 2024 presidential election. I'll probably do another one of these closer to election day, but I wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of how I think this election is going to go. So let's hop on over here to 270 to win.com. You guys can go here or just search up interactive electoral map, and there's a whole bunch of these sites that you can play around with this stuff here. So as you can see, I have all of the solidly blue and solidly red states filled in here. I think that these are states that should not be close. Texas perhaps maybe closer than it's been in the past, but these are all states that are very solidly in either the blue camp or the red camp. So with all those, we have Democrats at 226 and the Republicans at 219. So basically, these are the states it's going to come down to in Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. So Nevada, let's start off here. We'll start off in the West and we'll make our way east. Nevada has been a tricky state for the Democrats in recent years mainly because the Latino, the coalition in support of Latino voters has turned away from Biden over the last few years. Now, a lot of this support has been shored up with Harris taking the top of the ticket, but I think that Nevada is going to be very, very close. I think that Harris wins Nevada in a very, very close race. I think that Biden being replaced at the top of the ticket Nevada is one of the states where the Democrats will benefit mostly from Harris taking over for Biden, based on the huge Latino vote in Nevada. Arizona, there's a lot of drama around Maricopa County and the results that happened in Arizona in the 2020 election, and it was very, very, very close. I think that Trump likely wins Arizona narrowly. Basically, a lot of support for the Democrats and Biden has kind of diminished, right? After the 2020 election. And again, Harris has recaptured some of the support, but I think in a state like Arizona, Trump's immigration message and the amount of border crossings that have been happening, that the right has pretty successfully directly blamed Biden and the Democrats for, I think that could have an effect in Arizona more than any other place. And I feel that the Democrats haven't quite done enough to push back on the immigration lies that we hear from the right. I think Trump wins Arizona in a nail biter. Wisconsin, I think Wisconsin is pretty solidly going to go to Harris. It'll be close, but I don't see Trump's messaging affecting Wisconsin voters like it affects voters in Arizona or even Nevada. Wisconsin is a more homogenous state, and I think that again Trump's messaging, it's not necessarily going to have as much an effect on a state like Wisconsin. Um, Latest polls here also show Harris up about 7 points. Some polls are showing, so that's outside of the margin of error. So I think Wisconsin is pretty solidly in the bag. And wrapping up the blue wall here, Michigan, I believe, goes to the Democrats. We know about all of this drama with Gretchen Whitmer and how she's been targeted by MAGA extremists. And the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, has risen to have somewhat of a national profile, national prominence in her talking points against MAGA. In fact, she was even very briefly considered as being a replacement for Joe Biden after he ultimately left the race. I think that her leadership, Gretchen Whitmer's leadership, through COVID and her standing up to MAGA extremists here, has done the Democrats favors. And I don't think that the Republicans have done enough to overcome the advantages that Gretchen Whitmer gives the Democrats in this state. Now, Pennsylvania. Oh boy, the big one. Let's go Pennsylvania last. We'll move down here south to Georgia. I believe Donald Trump wins Georgia. I believe that, again, some of the support that was there in 2020 has evaporated for the Democrats. And in states that are so razor thin close, I just ask myself, have the Democrats done enough in the South to overcome the disadvantages that Biden put the party in? I don't think so. I don't think that the messaging has been necessarily particularly strong towards African American and minority voters. I think that it's going to be very, very close, but I think that ultimately Georgia will, just by a hair, go to the Republicans. North Carolina, this is going to be a state that is close, and it's a state that Donald Trump must win in order to reach his path. I think that North Carolina goes to Trump narrowly. Now, this could be up in the air due to all the drama around Mark Robinson and his potential pull on the Republican ticket with all of his scandals that he's going through right now. But again, I don't see where the Democrats have messaged enough to overcome Trump's advantages that he has in the southern part of the country, excuse me. And I think because of that, North Carolina narrowly goes to Trump. And now we go to Pennsylvania. Now, it's been said time and time again that Pennsylvania is the big one, right? Pennsylvania is basically going to decide the fate of the election. And if you look at my electoral map here, you'll see that we have the Democrats at 257 and the Republicans at 262. You need 270 electoral votes to become the next president of the United States of America, meaning that quite literally this is coming down to Pennsylvania, which thankfully I believe the Democrats should win Pennsylvania, making Kamala Harris the 47th president of the United States of America in ultimately what is going to be a very, very close election. Pennsylvania we've seen a lot of political action going down there that's gotten national attention. Who can forget Dr. Oz and John Fetterman's epic primary battle in which Fetterman ultimately defeated Dr. Oz, and Dr. Oz, made a lot of very, very erroneous statements in that race, including in the debate when Dr. Oz said, debating John Fetterman, that the people that should be deciding actions that a woman takes with her own body are the doctor, the patient, and the government. And that really, really didn't help Dr. Oz at all, and really solidified the extremist case that the Republicans are making on abortion. And in a state like Pennsylvania, the abortion issue could be something that pushes the Democrats over the edge. We've been seeing Fetterman taking a head-on approach to battling MAGA on the national stage, and also Josh Shapiro becoming governor, becoming quite a vocal advocate for Kamala Harris's presidency, and him being quite a prolific public speaker and speaking as much as he does on behalf of Harris and Biden. I just don't see a route where the Republicans are able to take Pennsylvania. This is also a state, right, that is, very close to Washington, D.C., and would have been very dialed in to a lot of Donald Trump's actions on January 6th. I think that based on January 6th, based on the Republicans repealing Roe v. Wade, based on Trump's total mishandling of COVID, as well as outsourcing of jobs, the Republicans have done at large for many, many years now, that has hit states like Pennsylvania harder than anywhere else, or as hard as anywhere else. I do not see a path that the Republicans take Pennsylvania. And some of you might say this is a very generous map to Donald Trump. And, it's very possible that Harris wins Arizona. It's very possible that North Carolina is up for grabs. But I think if we're being as pragmatic as we can possibly be, and not underestimating the Republicans and not underestimating Donald Trump, which is a mistake that many, many people made back in 2016. It's not a mistake I'm going to make here. And I think that Donald Trump does have very narrow paths to victory, but almost all of them go through states like Pennsylvania, states like Michigan, states like Wisconsin, which he all won in 2016. And ultimately, the question is, have the Republicans done enough since 2020 to gain support, right? Make up for lost voters that have turned away from Trumpism and MAGA, and make up that support somewhere else with other demographics of voters. I do not see that happening in any of these states that I have Harris winning. And, it boils down to Donald Trump has simply ran out of places that he can go to get support. In 2016, Trump was the new kid on the block. He was not the politician. He was the person that was not totally ingrained in Washington and we could maybe take a chance on him based on based on him being not a politician and not all wound up in the day-to-day activities of what goes down in Washington, D.C. That advantage that Trump had is completely gone. Trump is a known commodity at this point. And Harris, in fact, is going to benefit from being the newer candidate, having the excitement factor behind her, which is diminished a bit since she took over the top of the ticket. But no one's excited about Donald Trump. He has his 40 to 45% of his base that is going to turn out for him come hell or high water. He said it best. You could go out and shoot somebody in Times Square and not lose any support. And the thing is that he was correct in making that statement, because 40 to 45% of the country is going to vote for him no matter what. The question is that 40 to 45% of the country enough to put him over the edge like it did in 2016? I don't think so. Harris does not have half of the problems as a candidate that Hillary Clinton has. They have the advantage of being the incumbent president, the incumbent administration, and when you factor in all this legal craziness around Donald Trump, all this his actions on January 6th, or lack of action on January 6th, the repealing of Roe v. Wade, you have a lot of things that have built up against the Republicans, and I don't think that they have done quite enough to chip away at some of the disadvantages that the party has been put into based on the disastrous Donald Trump administration. Now, if you had a different candidate, if Donald Trump wasn't the top of the ticket, maybe you have a better chance here. Maybe you have a chance of picking up a Michigan, a Wisconsin, a Pennsylvania, based on people's lack of confidence in the American economy or what have you. But yeah, I think this is how it's going to go. Democrats win 276 to 262. It's going to be a close election, closer than a lot of people. I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to be really close, but it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with someone who's into politics. It helps YouTube take my channel more seriously, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.